Evening, everybody, and Merry Christmas! Hi, everyone. I look absolutely ridiculous in this hat, but maybe I should put it under the headphones. I don't know. I haven't decided if I'm going to keep this on or not. We'll see. We will see. Either way, Merry Christmas, everybody. As you all know, I'm going to be greeting you guys like that for quite some time, so get used to it. Otherwise, I hope everyone had a good Christmas weekend. And is continuing to have a good Christmas season. Kylie says, "Oh my gosh, what do you think? Is this, yeah, good? No?" This is my old hat from Tuba Christmas, which was this wonderful thing that I did for a few years throughout high school and college, where tuba and euphonium players would just get together in public places in various places around the world and just play Christmas music for everybody. Decorate our instruments with lights and tinsels and things. It was a great time. Is there any reason to celebrate Christmas? Christmas more is a good reason. Absolutely. And I go, I'm of the mentality of going all the way through to Candlemas, February 2nd, the presentation of the Lord, in my celebration of Christmas. We didn't do much decorating, but our little tree we have is definitely staying up. Our nativity basically stays up all year, but whatever. But anyway, I am. It's been a good time. It was a good Christmas. We had a good time. Visited family and such. Continuing to do so as the days go on. I mentioned last week. I think. Did I mention last week? I probably mentioned last week. We wind up getting a new car. Finally, which has been absolutely delightful. A big old minivan, as a big old family ought to have. I've only got the 2 kids so far, so it's not quite necessary, but it is definitely helpful to actually have a third row if we never need to transport anything other than the children. But, you know. Kelly says, "I don't know how to feel about the hat. Need to get used to it." Don't get used to this. I'm not doing this for the whole season. This is absolutely ridiculous, and I'm probably not even going to do this all night, because this is not how this is meant to be worn over a pair of headphones. I might take it off and put it on underneath the headphones, honestly. That might actually work better. I don't know. If Erica joins the stream and I hear just yelling from the other room to take the damn thing off, then I kind of have to. Anyway. So Kylie suggests that I should wear different hats for each day of the season. I have precisely one Christmas hat, and it is this one. So I really can't do that. I have various hats for various things, but this is my only seasonally appropriate one. So I really can't. I would, but I really can't. Actually, wait, I might just have a generic Santa hat that fits me around here somewhere. I don't know if it would fit over the headphones. It's the other thing. I don't know. Anyway, so for now, gonna keep it on. Also, in other news, I am hopefully planning on streaming New Year's Eve. So we're gonna be playing Dragon Age Inquisition Thursday as usual. I know it's did I say Christmas Eve? New Year's Eve. We're going to be bringing in the new year the same way we've brought through most of the rest of the year, which is staying in our homes individually and celebrating together, kind of. More or less. So do join me. Hopefully some folks are available then. I'll keep mentioning this as we go along. Yeah, like I said, hopefully we are, going to be streaming Thursday night, so come and join me. There is a very appropriate end to a year like this one coming up in Dragon Age Origins. If you've played it and you know the story, you know what I'm talking about. Which will happen. It won't be around midnight exactly, but we'll see. Oh, that's a shame. All right, well, you can always go back and rewatch for the impact of everything. It won't be New Year's Eve, but that's okay. That's all right. Anyway. In other news, I made this. So that's there, just in case we need that for anything. Whether we need it for stuff showing up in the chat over there, Eddie, or or if we need it to cordon off anything that is not YouTube family friendly that may arise from time to time. So if that does happen, then it's a button press away. Anyway, I may have to change the keybind for that at some point because I realized that I didn't know that did things. All right. Anyway, let's get into it. Yes, that is targeted harassment at WizKid, so to speak. Not literally, Susan. Not literally targeted harassment, but you know. Oops. My bad. There we go. All right. Let's get back into it, and we have a couple of minor things to do, I think, before we go right back into the last mission on Tuchanka, for which we will be curing the genophage, fighting the Reapers, doing all sorts of crazy things like that. So that'll lead us into a lot of discussions about the genophage, its effects on, disasters, effects on culture, things like that, and, the usual talk of genocide. Nothing new. Oh. Civilian deportation order. Commander Bailey has requested assistance with a con man who's preying on refugees. The man has exploited loopholes to delay his arrest. Spectre authorization would allow CSEC to immediately deport the con man from the Citadel. I have to wonder if this has an impact somewhere. Yeah, probably ought to. Hi, Elmo. Doing well. Good to hear. Good to see you here. Oh, why did I do that? I don't need to do that. Okay. None of this should matter for the moment. That's all I can use. I love that there's a mascot. All right. All right, let's go. Okay. So we just finished wrapping up some side quests and turning things in on the Citadel. I don't think we have anything else to do around the galaxy, so let's get straight to it. All right.
All hands, full stop. Hostiles detected at the landing coordinates.
Joker, what have you got?
Sensors show a Reaper parked at the Shroud facility. No way you're gonna be able to land a shuttle there.
Get everyone assembled in the war room. I want eyes on the Shroud.
Aye, aye, ma'am.
So it looks like intelligence leaked, and they know where we're coming.
New form of Reaper, Shepard, using Shroud to poison Tuchanka's atmosphere. Problematic.
Oh, or not. Or they've
wanna
got their own
fight.
reasons.
They just got one.
Primarch, we're gonna need your help.
That could be difficult. Our losses on Palaven have been catastrophic.
We're doing this for Palaven. No one said it would be easy.
What do you have in mind?
A combined attack. Your people hit the Reaper with an airstrike. Rex, at the same time, your soldiers will be attacking from the ground. Together, you can draw it away from the tower.
Yes, distraction. Small team can reach Shroud facility, finish synthesizing cure. We'll need Eve to come with us.
We've never faced a Reaper up close like this. Everyone on board?
There's even
Well,
a
except
doubt.
Sovereign, but we had
Let's
help.
move, Hijack. It's time to cure the genophage.
Commander, incoming message marked urgent. I'll put it in the comm room for you.
Delatras.
Commander Shepard, we know you've reached Tuchanka. And by now, I imagine Morden Solus has proposed using the Shroud.
You spying on us?
Hardly. The Shroud is the only viable course of action open to you. Commander, you can't allow your misguided sympathy for the Krogan to cloud your judgment. Do you honestly believe curing the genophage will end in lasting peace?
So a couple of things. Kylie says, I got so many new mugs for Christmas. Awesome. I stick with I've got a few. I don't collect quite as much as you do. I vie for practicality mostly, with exceptions. Although this is, once again, as I've said before, not a mug. It is a Stein. That is very different. One. I actually wrote a semi-tongue-in-cheek article about the inappropriateness of using a stein like this for coffee. One should not do so. You're mixing your drink vessels, and that's not good. It's specifically designed to do a very good job with for alcohol, for beer in particular, rather than coffee. And using it it'll work for coffee, but it shouldn't. Using it for both is an especially bad idea for reasons I can explain if you want. They're very technical and semi-satirical. But in general, I stick with my nice, well-insulated, plain plastic things. Although maybe I should decorate this somehow. I don't know. Oh, no. Yeah, Saoirse got up. She's probably playing in her room, I think. Yeah, I know. She does not like sleeping, as you know. But like I said, I'll put a description after the stream. I put a link in the description after the stream to my article in the Quadlibital Style of Aquinas about why the Pints with Aquinas beer stein is inappropriate to use for coffee instead of its beverage, appropriate beverage, beer. This being a Guinness. It does work phenomenally well for any kind of nice stout. Anyway.
We have to give the Krogan that chance. You can't condemn an entire race to extinction based on what might happen.
What will happen is the Krogan will reproduce out of control. We uplifted them specifically for their violent nature, not their diplomatic skills.
What are you doing with the
Another war
Yogg?
is inevitable.
What do you want, Delatras?
Just saying.
Years ago, our operatives sabotaged the Shroud facility to ensure what you're planning couldn't be done. Morden will likely detect this malfunction and repair it. But if you ensure that he doesn't, then the cure's viability will be altered just enough so that it fails. No one will notice the change.
You mean trick the Krogan?
They need not be any the wiser. Let Erdnot Rex believe you fulfilled your promise.
Morden would never stand for that.
How you deal with him is up to you, Commander. We can provide you our very best scientists to build the Crucible, and the full support of our fleets.
If I sabotage the cure.
Think about it, Commander. The choice is yours.
Solarians are duplicitous bastards, really. Not only are they insisting on continuing the ongoing genocide of the Krogan people, but also insisting that we specifically do not stop, that we do not stop this ongoing genocide, but then also that we do so secretly under the noses of everyone who we are doing it to help. That is absolutely heinous. Let's go with Javik. Let's go with our usual Liara and Garrus. I think Garrus and Liara is a good team for this sort of thing. Kylie says, also a friend gifted me a subscription to a blog space where I can put short stories and poems and stuff. Awesome. Like I've said before, if you want to, I can of course cross promote you. I don't have too much reach, but I'll be happy to put links to them up and stuff. Especially if you're, if the story you already sent is going to have ongoing continuation or things like that. This is getting silly. I'm gonna get frustrated by this eventually. Right now, I'm still entertained by its absurdity. Oh wait, one quick thing. You'll notice Javik that gun he has is a shotgun, which he cannot wield. Love it when they do that. Anyway, now let's go. Alright, yeah, let's go with the Blood Dragon. It's very appropriate for Tuchanka. And very appropriate for playing Dragon Age on... I'm so tempted by this gun. I love this stupid gun. Very appropriate for playing Dragon Age this week as well. I like the Gladius. It's wildly inaccurate, though. Yeah, let's stick with what we've got. Kind of like the Valiant, but I need to upgrade it a lot more. It's the automatic one. Widow's really good and insanely heavy, so alright, let's keep it here. Kylie says that'd be awesome. We probably would need to coordinate more via text or something. Still figuring out how to set up and maintain a blog. Yeah, by all means. Feel free to let me know, and I will definitely keep things. I'll get something working. I don't know exactly what, but I will get something to work there. Okay. He's going to use the Gladius and a sniper rifle. All right. Sounds good. Did I want to wait for warp? Or do I want to do cryoblast? I think I'll go with increase the duration of cryoblast. That'll work. Okay, overload. Okay. Recharge speed. That'll work.
I've ordered the clans to assemble at the Hollows. It's our sacred meeting ground. We'll land there and take an armored convoy against the Reaper. This will be the defining moment of Krogan history.
Krogan history filled with defining moments, most bloody. Hope this one better.
Commander, you seem troubled.
I got a message.
Rex, it's Reeve. The Reapers are already at the Hollows. Come out with guns blazing.
Okay, shooting time.
Hang on tight. Heading in.
This, if you recall, if you think back to Mass Effect 1 and some of our conversations with Rex, this was where he met for a peace treaty with his father, who was a leader of several clans and such.
Shepard, keep away from the female. I'll sort out what's happening with the other clans.
So this was where he met with his father, representing a bunch of other clans, and where his father basically had a bunch of Krogan warriors jump out of graves to ambush him at this place of peace, or apparent place of peace, or supposed to be a place of peace.
Whatever you do, keep them away from the female.
Okay.
We're not done yet. More on the way.
Let's switch. There we go.
I'm on it.
Let me know if the game audio is too loud. It kind of sounds like it might be,
We almost got them all.
which I think it is. Let me change that a little bit. There. That's probably better. There.
They'll sing battle songs about this someday. Reaper blood has finally soaked our soil.
We have to get to the Shroud. The airstrike is on its way.
Female safe, Shepard. Vitals are strong.
What's a Solarian doing here? Nobody said anything about this.
Multiple Krogan. Problematic.
Who are you?
Erdnot Reeve, brood brother to our illustrious leader. Reeve and I share the same mother, and nothing else. For which I'm thankful. I remember what it means to be a true Krogan. We flay our enemies alive and drown them in a geyser of their own blood. We don't invite them into our home.
That's interesting. Not his, hatred of aliens. That's normal, par for the course for Krogan. What's interesting to me here is that they are described as brood brothers, which I take to mean that they are born of the same clutch. So I think eggs, but I'm not sure. Born at the same time, basically. It's the equivalent of twins. But that Krogan women carry, dozens or more children at a time. This, weirdly, seems to imply that they can have different offspring from different fathers in the same brood or in the same clutch. If they're eggs. I don't know if they lay eggs or not. But that's interesting. That's an odd little tidbit that seems to be implied about Krogan physiology that we didn't know about. Especially odd given that a lot of Krogan are infertile, or at least Krogan males included are infertile or sterile. That seems very odd that multiple different males would fertilize the same fertile female. Elbow is back. Welcome back. Am I the only one who got pretty mad when they tore the Confederate statues down? Yeah, so I don't know. I don't have any real particular family history with Confederacy or anything, but culturally, I totally get it. It's also a very silly and absurd way of protesting, very, very, very symbolically. In a way that I think I've talked about this before, mostly on our Red Dead streams. Thinking back, I'll see if I can find it where I talked about it more extensively. But it's a kind of dismissal of history. It's not just it's not just a rejection of an historical figure, because you get that, you can do that and maintain statues and things, right? That just sort of recontextualizes the statues rather than removing or destroying them. In a case like this, in a case of destroying historical memorabilia like statues, what that typically does is it reminds me of the Roman practice of damnatio memoriae. Hold on. Let me write this down so I don't forget to put some things in the description afterwards. So the damnatio memoriae, briefly, was a practice done to Roman, mostly politicians, usually emperors, after their death, where every image of them was stricken from everything anyone could find. It was a way of finally and ultimately erasing someone from history to the greatest extent possible. The sort of the problem with this, of course, was that you still had... Well, it's not this. It's not that it was erasing them from history. It was specifically defacing their memory. So they would leave the statues. They would leave the images. They would leave the names. They would scratch it out, make it unrecognizable. All of them. So, or all of them that they could. They would burn or melt the eyes out of the coins with their faces on them. They would scratch, not just polish off, not recarve. Violently scratch their names off of monuments and things like that. So it was not a way of forgetting them, right? Because it's not the erasure of memory, it's the damnation of memory. It is changing how we remember a figure, which still has historical impact. This kind of erasure of history that we're kind of trying to do, I think, does something very different. Which realistically, the people who are involved in this, and now interestingly, fascinatingly enough, this week we've had, I think, our first case of sort of the other side, so to speak, doing something similar with a statue of Breonna Taylor. I forget where this was destroyed, and this was a few days ago. I don't know if this was who this was done by, or we don't have any details about this whatsoever, really. But just making the simple assumption that this is roughly the opposite side equivalent. Obviously much more recent history, obviously a very different kind of figure, but still the same kind of practice. Or maybe not, but I can get to that. The erasure of history is a very, very different practice, and it's a fundamentally... it has its roots far more deeply settled in totalitarianism than in the kind of populism that drove the damnatio memoriae of ancient Rome. Right? For the Romans, it was that they had betrayed the Senate and people of Rome. For the current swath of destruction of statues and things like that, it seems more to me that it is in sort of against or in violation of the narrative, right? Where society is and ought to be, and where society is going. All of that. These historical figures stand athwart that, and they cannot, therefore, be remembered, at least not portrayed in this way, in a way that could be construed as heroic. Right? And so, what this winds up meaning, I think, my interpretation, is that that this is an attempt to control knowledge, control history, control thought, which is, again, a very, very totalitarian impulse. Elmo, I have not seen The Newsman. I'm not sure what it is. You'll have to see if you can give me a brief enough description, or where it is, what it's about, where I can find it, that kind of thing. Elmo says, I thought they were getting rid of history. In England, they were even tearing down statues of Winston Churchill. Yes, yeah, honestly, yeah, it is. It's a kind of erasure of history rather than a damnation of history. They're very, very different things, symbolically speaking. And that actually makes me think that, for example, the statue of Breonna Taylor that was destroyed was not removed or anything. It was broken and left, right? Which is somewhat different, and maybe different in intent. If this is just sort of the parallel on the other side, it seems like this was a kind of act of disapproval rather than an act of forgetting or erasure. Okay, keep saying maybe. And again, we don't know enough. We don't have enough details about the situation to know what's going on there. But it's certainly some kind of an interesting development, just because that this has this tendency of destroying statues and tearing them down and removing them has been very, very politically one-sided. And because of that, it's, at least to my knowledge, because of that, it's interesting to see what the parallel case would be on the other side, if there is one. So let's defend Morden, because, I mean, he is going to be basically the savior of the Krogan people. So they really ought to fall in line. So Emma says, look up why America isn't the greatest country anymore. The Newsman. He explains stuff perfect on why America ain't as great as it used to be. I will write this down. Is this like a like YouTube commentator type person, or pundit, or what would what kind of genre am I looking for? Keep me posted on this. It's interesting. I'll have to look this up. All right.
This Solarian is not your enemy. He's here to help cure the genophage.
His kind gave us the genophage. Why should we trust him? Because I do.
Now that's politics.
And so will you.
You can stay here and let old wounds fester as Krogan have always done. Or you can fight the enemy you were born to destroy and win a new future for our children. I choose to fight. Who will join me?
I love the music for this.
I will.
And so will I. Now hold your heads high like true Krogan. There's a Reaper that needs killing!
God, he looks so awkward. I love it.
Copy that, Artemech. We're on our way, trying to make up lost time. Shepard out.
Reed isn't the only Krogan who wants revenge for the genophage, Rex. You'll have to placate them somehow.
I'll demand the Council return some of our old territory. We'll need room to expand. Recapture the glory of the Ancients.
Glory of the Ancients led to Krogan rebellions, countless deaths, creation of genophage. Expansion plan, problematic.
Get to this in a moment. So Kylie asks, one other thing I wanted to mention. There's an historian, Rachel Fulton Brown, who I'm a big fan of, big follower of. I follow a lot of her research and things as well. Who's talked about the sort of social and symbolic importance of statues and statues tearing down. I'll see if I can find some stuff from her on this as well. If I can, again, after the stream, it'll go in the description. Kylie asked, question, what's been happening with the second wave of redacted government cheese, let's say. I'm so out of the loop with politics at this point, I have no idea what's going on. Yeah, I don't know, it's Christmas. There's some kind of a dispute going on about whether the pork-filled, nonsensical $600 stimulus plan, which only a very small portion of is actually going to be for stimulus, and is going to include all sorts of other nonsense, whether that's going to be included, which also, by the way, might make this illegal, just so you know. So that's cool. The full bill. I don't know what was going on with that. There seemed to be the alternative, which was a clean bill with only the stimulus plan of, what was it, $2,000 per person instead of $600. I don't know. I really don't. I'm not sure what's going on currently with it. All of it seems to be up in the air. There's a lot of things that are changing pretty constantly. And again, like you, I've been not following it so much. It's Christmas. I don't want to, frankly. Yeah, Erica says, last time I heard Trump signed it, I heard something about that. I don't know if he signed the full thing or if he signed part of it or if it was... I heard something about line item changes or redlining or something. I don't know. There was something weird about what was on. I didn't have the time or the grinchiness to want to look into it in too much detail. So, I don't know. Something different. Something kind of changed. Elmo asks, what have I noticed a lot about the philosophy of this game? So there are tons of themes having to do with this game, which primarily centered around coming together to face a greater threat and how that can be done. There's a lot of other small issues, like what we're talking about now, or I mean, what they're doing now with the genophage. Issues having to do with warfare, just war, genocide, all of this. having to do with truth and lies and deception and all of that too. We've talked pretty extensively about a lot of these, as well as things like, concerning the Reapers, things like mind control. Right? What are the effects, or what could be the effects, of someone so thoroughly influencing the mind of another? Issues having to do with species and persons. What's the difference between a human, biologically speaking, and a person, or a human being as, rational animal? These are very, very different things. A lot of which we've talked about quite a lot here. If you want, like I said, there's something like 150 hours or so between Mass Effect 1 and 2. If you want to go back and listen to some of what I'm talking about, there, feel free to rush through them at double speed. But I know I have a few viewers who hello to those about whom I'm talking, who will go back and just sort of listen to these as podcasts, because I do most of it. A lot of it is just me talking about these kinds of topics. Elma follows up. Ironic thing with these people who want a fascist America. I shouldn't say that word on YouTube, should I? I did. Too late. Is if this were a fascist country, the police would bash their heads open for protesting. Yeah. It's really it's one of the really ironic things of being able to protest openly against an oppressive regime. You have to kind of put in perspective exactly how oppressive the regime is if you're free to blatantly, openly protest against it. Now, there can still obviously be faults and flaws and even, elements of tyranny that can and should be spoken out against. But it's clearly not, Austrian Painter 2.0. If you understand my meaning. Erica said also there's something about the House forcing the dollar amount to 2,000, then the Senate had to approve. Yeah, I heard something about there being also a bill floating around that I've heard it was a clean bill, so just for $2,000 a month. I don't know where that is or where that's going. Apparently it's in the House. Maybe going to the Senate and then possibly to the President. I don't know. All right, so Krogan sound like they're about to go and start Krogan rebellions again, which is also bad. But at the same time, they have been, like we've been kind of talking about, violently oppressed and literally genocided for 600 or 700... No, wait. I think, at this point, 700 or 800 years. So, that's... That's a lot to walk back from.
What were the ancient Krogan like?
Tachanka wasn't always a wasteland. In the old times, the Krogan were a proud people. We had dreams, a future to look forward to.
Until Solarian interference.
No, we destroyed Tachanka ourselves. Technology changed us. It made life too easy. So we looked for new challenges, and found them in each other. Nuclear war was inevitable.
And now our planet is rubble. We'll need a better place to live.
I'd say helping defeat the Reapers would be worth a new planet.
Or 10. You haven't seen how fast we can pop them out.
Rex.
What?
That's great.
With the genophage cured, we'll have a lot of catching up to do.
I mean, it's not wrong.
Commander, on the shuttle, was there something you were going to say?
Yes, there was. Yeah, Kylie, I tend to agree. I despise politics. As much as I follow it for the most part, and I'm interested in it, I follow it because I despise it. I am, if nothing else, I am anti-political. At least as I don't know, politics hurts my brain. Because there's too much info to understand, try to take a stance on. That part I can kind of follow. It's just that all of that info is just innately and intrinsically depressing info. Basically at all times. That's what makes me not want to follow it, but do anyway. Hilma says, do you think enlisting is a good idea? I've been thinking about it recently. I am fundamental, as I was mentioning, meaning in a year and a half when I'll be old enough to. Don't let me make this decision for you, obviously. I'm a stranger on the internet, so make your own decisions. But that said, I am pretty fundamentally opposed to the state as such and almost everything that it does, at least in present and in reality, right? And unfortunately, especially nowadays, especially these days, assuming you're in the U.S., that largely includes our various military misadventures. That much of what the U.S. military does is it has no business doing and winds up doing more harm than good, both for ourselves and for the people we're trying to either help or alter abroad, so to speak. If you're looking at somebody who knows a ton about what the U.S. military is doing, especially out in the Middle East right now, look into a guy named Scott Horton, Scott Horton. He's basically the foremost expert on U.S. foreign policy, especially with respect to the Middle East. He has very little specialized training in it. He is an historian, kind of, but he mostly just is very, very well read on the subject and has a lot of high-level contacts who he talks to about it and gets information about everything. So I do tend, again, like I said, I tend to think that that there's more harm that's being than good that is being done today from the U.S. military, and also looking forward, it looks like that harm is ramping up rather than down, so that may be getting worse. I don't know yet. We'll see. But given Joe Biden's announced appointees and things like that, it's not looking great from a sort of not wanting to ruin the world standpoint. So that's, again, my thoughts on the matter. Obviously, make your own decisions. You know your life a lot better than I do. But that's my very, very general thoughts. All right, so let's speaking of duplicitous military action, let's turn our backs on the horrifyingly backstabbing Dalatrus, the Solarian we were just talking to, and get this damn thing fixed, shall we?
The Dalatrus tried to cut a secret deal with me.
What kind of deal?
She said they sabotaged the Shroud years ago. The cure won't work unless we fix it.
Years ago, our operatives sabotaged the Shroud facility.
She recorded her. This is brilliant. Oh my god, I love this.
She thought we wouldn't know better?
Correctly. Would likely have fooled tests, but familiar with STG work, can adjust. Did not come this far for nothing.
You just spared our race another genocide, Commander.
I told you we could count on her. Why are we stopping?
So Elmo, assuming the world goes back to something vaguely resembling normal at some point in the future, there are probably other ways of traveling the world that you get to decide where to travel. So there is that. I mean,
You and Morden stay with Eve.
you do obviously in the military get to see a lot of the world, but like I said, I think there are, there's other ways of seeing a lot of the world that, like I said, where you can control what parts of it you see and what you do there, that kind of thing, you know? Okay. Medkit don't need, but that's... Almost every level up I have gotten in this game has been walking into a new area or picking up some kind of thing. Just random crap off the ground. This is absurd. Kylie says, a friend of mine is in the Air Force. Been able to travel around a lot. I've loved it so far, but it's definitely something to think on and make sure you make the right decision for you. Yeah. Well, that's it. There's that noise. The Reaper horn. Anything else I'm missing? I don't want to miss anything here. I have to buy it. All right. See if I have enough to upgrade things. Ooh, I could upgrade Cryoblast. Increase damage to chilled and frozen. Ooh, that might be good. Yeah, let's do that. Nope. Nope. All right. Unless it's if I do join military, I go airborne. Airborne or Air Force? Like Army Airborne or Air Force? Did very different things.
What's the holdup?
Road's out. The convoy can't make it through.
Uh-oh.
Turian Wing Artemek, this is Shepard. We've been delayed. Hold off your attack.
Uh-oh.
Negative, Commander. Our approach is locked. The Reaper already knows we're here.
An airstrike alone won't do it. We have to get in that fight.
Damn it.
It's not good.
I don't care if we have to build a new road. We are going. Shepard!
I've lost control. I can't pull up.
Move!
Oh, Army Airborne. Okay.
Shepard, what's happening?
Rex! Get the female out of here now! Go!
Okay, so half of them got there. Oh, Jesus. All right.
Understood. Save your pilots. We'll find another way. Rex, are you receiving this? Is everyone okay?
Yeah, just scratches. Nothing the Solarian can't patch up. Reeves' truck made it out too.
The Turians
It's
had to call
hopefully
off
a
the
good thing.
airstrike. We'll need a new plan for dealing with the Reaper.
First we'll have to find you. Where did you end up?
Underground. We see ruins of some kind.
Commander, that's the city of the ancients.
How do we get out?
No maps exist. It's been abandoned for thousands of years.
You're a trailblazer, Shepard. Get through there and we'll find a place to meet up. Nothing will stop
Thousands
this
of years. So this is kind of a thing that bugs me a little bit about most sci-fi. In this case, it does make sense because, you know, the Krogan ancients were this was pre-space flight and all that. But that a lot of times it bugs me that ancient ruins and things are made of stone, are basically like, you know, ancient ruins on Earth, which is silly in most sci-fi contexts.
Fascinating. This painting suggests Krogan had an artistic side.
Had being the operative word. And now they have rubble.
But it's very, very strange that ancient buildings of civilizations that were already spacefaring are made of stone like this. No, this is not a case of this, right? But even like Prothean ruins, a lot of those are like stone pyramids and things, which is bizarre.
There it is again.
They were more advanced than the current cycle. That's weird.
You guys feeling these tremors?
Not up here.
It could be something else, Commander. It is said that Kalros, the mother of all thresher moths, lives in this region.
Which is another reason to get your ass out of there, Shepard.
Cool.
Step on it.
Speaking of
Did I hear
Kalros.
that right? Kalros, the mother of all thresher maws?
When the Krogan name a thresher maw, you
Uh-oh.
know you're in trouble. They don't think anyone's ever going to kill it.
I think Star Wars has a big problem with this. Tends to. Others do too. Like Stargate is really bad about this. Ancient ruins, like Lantean ancient ruins in Stargate are almost always stone, which is very weird. Because when you see their up-to-date technology, it's metal. Everything's metal. Everything's metal and plastic. You know, it's bizarre. But in any case, the example of this that I get to immediately, that immediately comes to mind is from The Mandalorian. If you're not caught up, this won't be much. It won't be very spoilery. When they go to Tython, which is apparently the ruins of an ancient Jedi temple. Yes, it's the ruins of an ancient Jedi temple, but the Jedi arose after all of the people in the galaxy were capable of hyperspace travel. They were in an interstellar civilization already, and it's an entirely stone structure. It looks like ancient, like Neolithic ruins, like from Earth, which is absurd. Now this is Kalros.
Wild guess says that's Calros.
I
If
agree.
that's what we've been hearing down here, I suggest we get moving.
Elmo, to answer your question, sir, that's been there a while. I am still semi-conversant in Spanish. It's been a while. I don't have a lot of practice under my belt, so I'd have to think it through if I were to actually try and hold a conversation. And I can read Latin more or less fluently for academic reasons, for the most part, academic and liturgical reasons. They are riding. I think those are supposed to be caccliosaurs, which is some kind of lizard thing. Oh, neat. Great.
More Rachni.
There are bound to be more than just the ones we killed. Rex, we've got Rachni here. Keep an eye out.
I know. A few of them just attacked us. All that matters is getting to that shroud. Find us fast.
Elmo suggests philosophy of Star Wars. I could react to the movies, or yes, that is definitely copyright. Yeah, you really can't do much of anything with actual clips from the movies.
In my younger
I
days,
could do
I'd love to have spent time here studying these ruins.
Yeah, absolutely.
Makes you
Nice,
wonder
huh?
what the Krogan might have done if they hadn't blown up the planet.
Let's switch weapons for you guys.
Understood.
Yeah, if you'd use even clips from most of the Star Wars movies, it'll get copy struck like that. It's pretty intense. Unfortunately, which is really sad. I might do on my
I
list.
thought plants were extinct around here.
Ooh, nice.
All that's left of it onto Chakra. This is once a world full of beauty, given a chance
Excuse me.
it can be again.
Shepard, that Reaper is still up to no good at the shroud. Find a way out of there and we'll pick you up.
On my long list of games to stream, I'm currently doing Mass Effect series. I'm just doing the trilogy for now. I might eventually come back to Andromeda, but right now I'm doing 1, 2, 3. So when we're done with 3, we're going to be doing Nier Automata next, on suggestion of a regular viewer of mine who bought it for me. So that's a great way of getting me to stream a game. So that's next in line, and we're also concurrently doing the Dragon Age series. So I'm currently on Origins. After that, I am probably going to be doing Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2. I might do 1 and 2, but I'll probably just do 2. In part because it's more philosophically interesting, and in part because I've played KOTOR 1 a lot, and I have a lot of trouble getting through the first level of it. It's very tedious, honestly.
I never knew the Krogan had this in them.
Maybe Eve is right. Curing the genophage might
There's a
lead to
lot of
Krogan
ammo down there.
research.
Uh-oh. Okay. Sniper rifle time.
Seeing all this done.
Oh, jeez. Okay. There we go. Okay. Elmo says Star Wars is my childhood. Yeah, mine too. I grew up watching Star Wars. The first time I actually saw any of the movies was the special editions on their theatrical release in the 90s. I was 5 or 6 years old, I think.
Stay sharp.
Ooh, that was big. And so I basically just grew up watching the movies. I grew up with the prequels, watching all of the shows, all the cartoon shows that came out, so Clone Wars and all that, and playing a bunch of the games, and reading a ton of expanded universe books. Most of the ones that were sort of post Return of the Jedi. I love the X-Wing series, New Jedi Order. All of those were wonderful. Yeah, I'm of the camp that was sort of disappointed by the sequel trilogy as a whole. More than any of them alone in particular. I'm generally disappointed with the sequel trilogy as a trilogy. more than anything else. Because they were clearly not put together well as a trilogy is, I think, my biggest problem with the... whoops, wrong button. With the sequels. But yeah, I think that is like I said, my biggest problem with the sequels is how they were arranged as a trilogy, more than anything else. Yeah, they each have their individual problems, but they're decently well put together films when taken alone. The problem is trying to put them together is they get kind of absurd. They fit together very poorly. I did like Rogue One. I even relatively enjoyed Solo. I thought Solo was pretty good. Okay. Uh-oh. There we go. But yeah, I've like I said, I've not been a huge fan of the sequel trilogy in general. There.
I think that's it for now.
Okay. I have been loving the new stuff that has come out. So The Mandalorian I've loved. I even just finished rewatching Star Wars Rebels. And I really, actually, I liked it a lot more than I remembered. It holds up very well.
We're still in the ruins.
Get a move on. That Reaper hasn't moved. The sky is looking worse.
She's on the move.
Yeah, we've got some ideas on that.
Not now, Rex. The commander has enough to worry about.
What's happening?
Kylie says, I'm a relatively new Star Wars fan. Haven't seen the final one yet. Really need to catch up. Need to catch up with all the other series within the franchise and then watch the final so you have better context. Not really. You can do fine with just the series films without the tie-in, like, you know, movies and everything that comes with it. It won't help too very much.
Another shooting gallery.
You.
Shepard, looks like we got a bridge up ahead. Try to find it, and we'll pick you up there.
That crap.
We're a little preoccupied right now.
I didn't say it would be easy.
There we go.
I'm really starting to hate this place.
There we go. There we go. But yeah, I will say the thing that I loved most about Star Wars growing up, and all the expanded universe stuff and everything like that, was the incredible attention to detail and consistency in the world building, which really, quite honestly, especially with the sequel trilogy, kind of got dropped as a priority, at least, in favor of things like spectacle, you know. And character decisions that I think didn't fit and things like that. Yeah, I do think that Kylo Ren was probably the best character in the sequel trilogy. Probably. I think that's probably about right. So before we cross this ominous bridge, this is not going to go well, I'm sure. I'll catch up with what we were saying. Yeah, I do say, though, that, yeah, Boba is back. Boba's been back in the EU for a very long time. He's been the unkillable badass for, like, 40-plus years after the original trilogy in the expanded universe, which has really been kind of my bread and butter growing up. That was most of the novels I read were Star Wars. A bunch of the long-running book series, the X-Wing series of novels I loved. The New Jedi Order series was phenomenal. Even the much later ones, like Fate of the Jedi and Legacy of the Force. I might be switching the order of those. They were very, very good long-running series that I thought were great. But that's the kind of thing that I really admire about the Mass Effect series as well, is the Oh, there we go. The incredible consistency of all of the world building. Oh. That's big. Okay. I love it. And the attention to detail and all of the stuff that I always used to love about Star Wars was done so well in Mass Effect, especially in the trilogy. But even to a great extent in Andromeda.
This planet is one giant death trap.
And the thing is, I bet Rex is enjoying.
I wonder where we are now.
A lot of things fit very well together. Just like in the good old days of the Star Wars EU and all that stuff, you know. Not to be overly blinded by nostalgia, don't worry. I am aware of the various crap that also populated the EU. Honestly, it's funny. If I were to make a really good comparison, I think I don't know how familiar anybody listening or watching, how familiar you are with the EU, the old EU, I mean. But if you remember there was a series of books and comics. Oops, wrong way. There's a series of books and comics called Dark Empire. And it included things like Palpatine coming back in a cloned body, you know, transfer of consciousness, a giant force storm of lightning that killed the fleet, stuff like that, which should, if you have seen, especially Rise of Skywalker, but in general, if you've seen the sequel trilogy, should sound rather familiar. They got a lot of story beats, not specific, you know, plot points necessarily, but general story beats. They got from the Dark Empire series, which honestly was one of the earliest expanded universe series, really major series, and quite frankly, it was kind of bad. It was not actually good for the most part. There were elements of it that got carried through, into later material that was pretty good, but on its own, it was not very good. And honestly, it's very much like the sequel trilogy, in that it got followed up on, and a lot of its elements got picked up by a lot of other series, a lot of which took place chronologically before Dark Empire, that were very, very, very good. Very good stuff that sort of even led up to Dark Empire, which is kind of what we're seeing now. You know, we see stuff like The Mandalorian, we see stuff like the storyline in Star Wars Squadrons, which is really good. Stuff like that. Really good storytelling. That is not the sequel trilogy. Yes, I have seen the Kylo Ren undercover boss episode. It was wonderful. It was hilarious. I loved it.
What about Reed?
No way he survived that. And he was a pain in the ass anyway. Now let's finish this. There's a Reaper waiting for us.
So the Harrison Ford thing is, I think, actually quite relevant to this. So I think your description isn't quite fair, maybe a little bit, but I think part of the reason that Harrison Ford wanted Han Solo to die was because he saw Han's role in the story as having come to an end, and that his death would be more impactful and meaningful than him continuing to live.
Everything my people will ever be depends on
which is something that we might be seeing
I hope this
tonight.
idea you were talking about is a good one.
It was hers, actually.
Cal Ross. We summon her to the Reaper.
Would that even work?
Already discussed strategy. Just need to distract Reaper. Draw it from tower while Cure synthesized, released.
What makes you so sure she'll come?
This is the most Krogan plan ever, and I love it.
All other Thresher Maws spawn. This is as much her home as ours.
If Tuchanka has a temper, Calros is it. Nobody's ever faced her and survived.
We flew through the Omega-4 relay and survived. We can do this.
That's the spirit, Shepard.
How would we summon her?
The
Can't
tower
believe this
was
hat's
built
still
in an
on.
arena devoted to Cal Ross's glory. The Solarians thought she would scare away intruders.
Appears to have worked.
There are 2 Maw hammers there, the largest in existence. If you can activate them, Cal Ross will come. That should distract the Reaper.
Meanwhile, laboratory nearby. We'll finish synthesizing cure.
Okay. I love this. Let's summon a giant Thresher Maw to eat a Reaper. And then cure the genophage. Hell yeah.
Let's make sure we all get out of here alive. We're gonna have one hell of a story to tell.
Wait! I want you to know that no matter what happens, you've been a champion to the Krogan people, a friend of Clan Erdnot, and a sister to me. To every Krogan born after this day, the name Shepard will mean hero. Now, let's show them why.
All right.
Go! I've got this. I am Erdnot Rex, and this is my planet!
See you on the other side.
Stay alive, Shepard. We'll have cure ready.
I wouldn't say that everything Disney touches they ruin. Because there's been plenty of good stuff that has come out of even Disney Star Wars. All right.
But someone has to raise those law hammers before you can use them.
We're kind of busy, Rex.
Lucky for you, I'm here. I'll handle it.
There we go. And I mean, the tendency of Disney doing, you know, annoying stuff, just generally speaking, and honestly, even just doing subpar work at all has been very, very recent. Like, think back to, maybe this is an age thing, but when I think back to Disney when I was young, it was the Disney Renaissance. It was the 90s. It was the best. Not some of the best. It was the best. Uh-oh. It was the best animated films that have ever been.
Everyone all right?
Fine here. Mostly.
Erica says, I'm going to be honest, the last 4 episodes of Season 2 of The Mandalorian had me worried. They were super slow and filler episodes they went from super slow and filler episodes to suddenly everything is happening, creating plot hole tears. Yeah, that did kind of happen. Seems like good advice.
I'm not sure cover's going to work.
I can't believe we're actually doing this.
Don't stop!
As she stops. I'm going to be adamant that Season 2 should have ended with the spoiler-free disappearance of a character under violent pretenses. Yes, I think that's probably the best way that it could have gone. The way they did it was decent. I thought it was good. It ended with the, episode title, The Rescue. That was good. Crap.
This is crazy.
Okay, good. Crap. I think we just have to run past. Uh-oh. There we go.
We hit the first hammer. How's it coming?
Yeah, Kylie, you do need to get into Mandalorian, I agree, but I definitely in that case say you do have to. You really should. Oh crap, this is not good. Here we go. Okay. You really should watch Clone Wars and even Rebels first. If only for character backstory stuff. It really does make a lot of the stuff, especially in Season 2, much better. Ow. Alright, cool cutscene. I'm gonna mute for a bit, because this is amazing. Oh my gosh. The giant thresher maw just ate a Reaper destroyer. And I love it. That's incredible. Hence the thumbnail, by the way.
Morden, is the cure ready?
Yes, loaded for dispersal in 2 minutes. Procedure traumatic for Eve, but not lethal. Malin's research invaluable.
She's okay?
Headed to safety now. Her survival fortunate. Will stabilize new government should Rex get any ideas. Good match. Promising future for Krogan.
Damn!
Control room at top of Shroud Tower. Must take elevator up.
You're going up there?
Yes, manual access required. Have to counteract STG sabotage. Ensure cure dispersed properly.
Morden, this whole thing is coming apart. There's gotta be another way.
Remote bypass impossible. STG countermeasures in place. No time to adjust cure for temperature variance. No other option. Not coming back. Suggest you get clear. Explosion likely to be problematic.
Morden, no.
Shepard, please. Need to do this. My project, my work, my cure. My responsibility. Would have liked to run tests on the seashells.
I'm sorry.
I'm not. Had to be me. Someone else might have gotten it wrong.
Temperature now within acceptable range. Dispersal commencing.
Science studies range from urban to agrarian. I am the very model of...
A long time ago, my father betrayed me in this place. His own son. He tried to kill me, so I had to kill him. Right over there. That's what the genophage reduced us to. Animals. But you changed that today, Shepard.
Now we'll fight for our children, not against them. It's just a pity Morden had to die.
He wouldn't have had it any other way. And I'm sure wherever he is, he's putting in a good word for us.
We'll name one of the kids after him. Maybe a girl.
But you, Commander, we can thank you in person.
Tell the Turians I'll be deploying troops to Palaven immediately. And when you're ready to kick the Reapers off Earth, you let me know. The Krogan are back in business.
Goodbye, Commander.
What will you do now?
Spread the hope you've given us. Even now, there are clans gathering in the Kelphic Valley. I'll go speak to them and make sure this gift isn't squandered. Thank you for all that you've done. And know that Urdnot Bakara calls you a friend.
That was good.
Hell of a thing you just pulled off, Commander. Curing the genophage? I never thought I'd see the day.
Rex has agreed to help the Turians, Admiral. We should get their full support.
I take it that leaves the Solarians out of the equation.
The cost of their support was too high, sir.
Well, I'll defer to your judgment on that, Commander. Let's hope we don't need them. Hackett, out.
Commander, Urdnot Rex has begun sending troops to Palaven. You kept your end of the bargain, and now I'll keep mine. The Turian hierarchy will stand with humanity against the Reapers.
I'm glad we can help each other out. It's the only way we're gonna defeat the Reapers.
That much is certain. To that end, several dry dock ships are ready to help build the Crucible. Garrus will coordinate them.
Yes, sir.
And when the time comes to deploy it, the full measure of our fleet will be there for Earth. May the spirits watch over us all.
I'll start managing Turian support right away, Shepard. You must be exhausted. Morden dying, it can't be easy.
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
We both know you need a clear head to win a war. There's no room for mistakes here. You should catch some shut-eye. I'll make sure Joker doesn't launch any suicide missions.
Anything happens, you let me know.
Shepard having her nightmares of all the people she couldn't save again.
I can hold them off. Go back and get Alenko. Now it's the right choice, LT.
Ashley.
Someone else might have gotten it wrong.
Morden. Man. Yeah, Shepard has people dying around her and for her cause. In her place, even, you might even say. Constantly. And the kid. The kid. Which is really why he sticks so hard in her mind, I think. Because he's just another example of somebody she couldn't save.
That won't happen. Go get him, Commander. We'll see you all when we get back.
And of course, going all the way back to Ashley on Vermeer. Where you had to make that, that impossible choice that really only somebody like Shepard could make. Only an incredibly a forceful personality like Commander Shepard.
It's open.
Shepard, there's something you need to hear.
All right.
Is this a bad time?
Thinking of some friends who aren't around thanks to this war.
That's thanks to the Reapers, not you. Are you thinking about anyone in particular?
Ashley back on Vermeer. She gave her life stopping Sovereign. I wonder what she'd make of fighting a whole fleet of Reapers.
If I had to guess, Ashley would call it target practice.
Yeah. Sounds like her. Didn't you have something for me?
The Solarian Counselor has an urgent matter.
Let me guess. He called the comm room.
The Council must be taking the Crucible seriously. I'll see you downstairs.
All right.
is something we should discuss, if you are finished rewriting history.
I made my decision, Counselor. There's not much anyone can do about it now.
Yes. We're going to have billions more Krogan in the galaxy. It's a good thing you saved my life once, Shepard. Otherwise, well...
God, he's
I have
old.
concerns about humanity's representative, Counselor Udina. My agents have discovered that he's using his authority to move vast sums of money. For what purpose? We're not sure.
If Udina's dirty, it's best we get to the bottom of it fast.
Agreed. Come to the Citadel. We will review the evidence and discuss this in private. Valorn out.
Commander,
Okay.
Admiral Hackett's available on VidCom.
Alright, let's do that.
Commander Shepard, something you need to talk about?
Do you know how the other races are doing against the Reapers?
Believe it or not, the Turians and Krogan actually seem to be getting along. Urdnot Rex has deployed troops, and they're giving the Reapers a moment of pause. The Solarians are still hanging on to Sirkesh, but the Reapers are starting to breathe down their necks, too.
What about the Asari?
They have to be feeling the heat. The Reapers are moving fast with the obvious intent of taking Thessia. Interestingly, the Reapers are leaving Parnak alone. It's the Yogg homeworld.
Can't say that I blame them. Yogg have teeth.
Well, if we lose this war, it might be them running the next cycle. It's easy to forget the Reapers don't destroy every species.
Just the ones who can threaten them.
So, interesting tidbit about that. Something to think about. A few things that kind of come together to think about. So, if you recall back to Mass Effect 1, the ending, more or less the ending, the Ilos project, the Prothean project to stop the Reaper invasion. That happened. So the last cycle, they altered the signal that controlled the Keepers, that prevented the Reapers from invading. Right, prevented the Reapers from invading years ago, centuries ago. In fact, in the, I think it was mid to late 19th century, so like 1870s, I think, if I remember right. Just a little bit before Red Dead Redemption 2 takes place, in fact. That said, because it was that long ago, if the Reapers had invaded in the late 19th century, there's a very, very good chance they would have left humans alone, like the Yogg. And so, basically, what this means is that what the Protheans did by delaying the Reaper invasion with this Ilos project was afford this cycle, the one that we're playing through right now, a chance to work together, including humanity, to try and stop the Reapers. Assuming that the Reapers would have beaten the rest of the cycle, especially without the Prothean archive on Mars, in, the solar system, with the plans for the Crucible and all that. Assuming that this cycle would have been defeated without humanity, which I think is kind of implied. That means that the next cycle would have begun in the, say, with advanced faster-than-light technology, Element Zero, Mass Effect drives, discovering the relays in the 22nd century that we see here. 2180s, or 2160s, I think, is when humans discover Mass Effect. So, the dominant species of this next hypothetical cycle would have been humans, Yogg, who are behind technologically, so humans would have probably made first contact with them, decided how that went. And finally, a third, barely space-worthy species, so 100 or two, maybe 200 years behind humanity, technologically speaking, called the Ralloway, who were contacted. They're an avian species that were contacted by the Asari shortly before the war started, and then they decided to just basically wipe out all of their satellites and try and pass themselves off as pre-space flight so the Reapers wouldn't kill them. They definitely would not have killed them hundreds of years ago, right, in the late 19th century. So the next cycle would have been at least these three races, possibly more. And they would have had 50,000 years to prepare. The Reapers would have probably been conventionally routed. again, another thing, just an interesting hypothetical to think about that would have been a really cool what-if scenario for what might have been if the Protheans had failed or hadn't, or at least hadn't succeeded in some way. Either they didn't try to or they failed to their project at Ilos. Very interesting to think about the potentials there. I also made quite a lot to do with the Ralloy in my the tabletop campaign that I ran a while ago on my Mass Effect tabletop that takes place after the Destroy ending, sort of recontacting them and seeing what they're up to. I had to kind of basically craft a culture based on the tiny little snippets we get from supplemental material and things like that. I think I did a pretty decent job world building for them. It was fun. They were a cool species. I enjoyed having them. But yeah.
Any word on the Volus and Elcor?
The Turians and the Krogans sent forces to the Volus homeworld, Evrun. It might not be enough, but at least they've got Reaper forces bogged down in a nasty ground war. As for Elcor, they're still in the fight, though our projections show the Reapers encroaching on their territory soon.
What happened to the Batarians?
Never stood a chance, hit by the Reapers straight out of the gate. And without any allies to call on, I think the Batarians are history.
Yeah, they bore the brunt of the invasion because that's physically where the Reapers came through. Yeah, so, alright, so on the Ralloy culture that I've more or less invented, so Erica says, they were basically Athens, with everyone screeching at each other in Parliament. Ben hated it, Ben being Erica's character, the human tech guy. It was, so, it was more or less Mediterranean. That was what I was going for. Mediterranean in general. So elements of Greek, elements of Israelite, Hebrew, elements of sort of North African, Egyptian, all that. Even elements, tiny little elements, not much, of Spanish. Spanish and Roman and all that. Culturally speaking. They were sort of vaguely monotheistic, with angelic demigods that were probably inspired by Protheans. Similar to the Asari, but with a sort of hierarchical chain of being up to the gods, the one god type thing. Again, drawing on that sort of Mediterranean layered monotheism, if you will. Politically speaking, as Erica pointed out, yes, they were obviously otherwise they were pretty. They were, yes, as I mentioned, they're pretty bird people, basically. Their politics was more or less decided by who can put forward their point most loudly, convincingly, and with enough duration. I was going to say longly, but that's definitely not a word. Who can hold out in the debate longest without, being shuffled off. Which really draws on sort of that Athenian and generally Mediterranean attitude towards politics. Even modern Greek politics is much like this. I had them have basic Mass Effect technology, but only basically secretly. It was tightly controlled, so it could be basically shut off if they detected Reapers or anything like that. They had no space travel at all because they stopped doing it. But otherwise, they had very, very advanced materials technology. I had them have a secret fleet that they were preparing and building for this was 10 years after the war that we played. So they had a massive, albeit not particularly advanced, Mass Effect capable battle fleet. They had secreted away. Neat. It was a neat. I think it worked well. I think it was neat. I wound up doing there was a weird. I've had a weird cult on their planet that worshipped Protheans. They were basically a terrorist cult, which was that was very fun. They had monks, they had religious communities, they had, like I said, that weird cult, the children of the called the Young Ones, which was a play off of, they referred to Protheans as the Old Ones, old ones, old gods, call it what you want, found out that they were defeated by the Reapers, and they were basically the political faction that was terrified of the Reapers because they had killed their gods, basically. So they were shunning outsiders. They didn't want to do space travel and all that kind of thing. It led to all sorts of tangled stuff with the party trying to interact with their society, and these extremist cultists not wanting any of that. It was a good time. There was a lot of fun stuff. A lot of couple of quests and sort of aesthetics and atmosphere, sort of vaguely based on stuff like The Mummy, which I adore that movie, especially the first one, and then also the rest of the series. Just kind of drawing on that for inspiration, stuff like that. It was a good time. It was a very fun planet to build. Anyway, so what about the weirdos up in the Perseus Vale? Oh yeah, that's right. They used actual bullets. So Mass Effect, the weapons use mass accelerators. They used big, chunky chemical bullets, like we use today, because they didn't use Mass Effect in their personal technology because it was, again, highly secretive and all that. So they used bullets, and so that wreaked weird. That had weird relationships with how it affected and didn't affect the armor and powers and all that of the party who were using standard this kind of tech. That was fun. That was also another fun element. I forgot about that.
Have we heard anything from the Quarians or Geth?
Something might be brewing near the Geth border, but our intel is sketchy. News is getting harder to come by as things get worse.
Okay. All right, that'll do it.
Nothing more, sir.
Keep me posted. Hack it out.
Okay. All right. Uh-oh, defection of Novaria. That sucks. Ooh, got Krogan Battle Masters.
Bethany, you see the vids of the Maw taking down the Reaper? Man, I wish I could have been there.
I'm just glad the diplomats are off the ship. A Krogan and a Turian in the same room is a fight waiting to happen.
Nice. All right. Let's go feed our fish.
Commander, Cerberus has attacked a comm facility on Ontaron. I've updated the galaxy map.
We should do that.
Look at that galaxy map. Do you know how many strategy games are built from that interface?
Love it.
You play strategy games?
A few. Most are too flashy, though. I prefer chess. I have a set made from rose quartz and hematite back home. I like the feel of something solid in my hands.
Well, now that I know your weakness, we might have to try a game.
It'd be more fun than playing Edie. Edie doesn't sweat.
You sweat playing chess?
Depends on how much fun we're having.
Anyway. Just saying. All right, let's feed the fish. That's a lot of fish. Check our email and stuff. Oh, that's a lot. Ah, Jesus. Rex. All right. Making babies again will be fun. As soon as this war is over, let's just say I'll do my part to build our numbers back up. You really came through for us. I'm proud to call you my friend. Thanks, Rex. Glad I heard that. Eva's in the Kelphic Valley, enlisting support from the other clans and spreading the word. She's going to be a great leader. Most of the males won't like me sharing power with her, but too bad. I run the show. We're off to save the Turians now, since apparently they forgot how to hold a gun. Jesus, rude. TMI. I love Rex. From the Dalatrus. Oh, poor Dalatrus. Commander, I'm deeply disappointed by your actions on Tuchanka. As I thought I made clear, curing the genophage will have long-term consequences. Once the Reaper threat is past, our combined forces will be so depleted that no race in the galaxy will be capable of stopping the resurgent Krogan. Moreover, the Krogan will undoubtedly seek revenge for the genophage, and Solarian Union will be among the first targets. I wonder why. Probably because you wanted them re-sterilized. That could be it, or re-genocided. When that day comes, Commander, the blood of my people will be on your hands. No. It'll be on your hands for trying this bullshit. I'm ashamed to also learn that our own scientist sacrificed his life carrying out your orders. I explicitly told him not to. He did it anyway. Because he's a goddamn hero. That's what Morden Solus is. You have some goddamn respect, Dalatrass. This is a dark day, not only for my people, but for all of galactic civilization. Yeah, shut up. God, I hate her. Really do. And you can't even get her killed. It's disappointing. From General Corinthus. Oh, cool. When you first arrived on Manae, I had a hard time seeing how flying off with one of our best generals would benefit our fight against the Reapers. However, as I now watch Turian and Krogan fighters working together to take down a Reaper destroyer, I must admit I'm impressed. You brokered an alliance that many thought impossible. Paladin might be saved after all. Awesome. Nothing changes here. We haven't recruited anybody, I don't think. I mean, we can change some of these guys, but nothing here new either. Okay. Nothing new there. All right. Cool. Okay, let's head through and talk to everybody. Let's just go bottom up. Start in the shuttle bay.
Everything okay with the shuttle?
Just double checking the inertia dampener coils. Can be twitchy in these UT-47s. But don't worry, this bird's been rock solid.
I always see you down here working your ass off. Ever take any downtime?
I get my sleep, Commander. Flying tired is nearly worse than flying drunk.
What about your waking hours? Any R&R?
I need to keep myself busy. Otherwise, well, too much time to think.
I appreciate your dedication, but I don't want to see you burn out.
I know my limits. I wouldn't take a chance with your life.
So before this war, you must have done something to relax.
Sure. I remember back when the Hawking was based out of Arcturus and I was just a fighter jock. There was this observation deck overlooking the main flight paths. You could watch every ship taxi in and out. When I was alone, I'd turn off the auditory emulators and just watch them drift by in silence.
You know, there are views like that on the Citadel. Next time we're there, you should take some shore leave. Clear your head.
I don't know. Maybe.
That's such a cool little world building element. You know how the whole like there's no noise in a vacuum, so why do ships make sound? Well, it's so you don't get weirded out by the silent ships. So in your earpiece, it makes ship noises. I love it. That's so cool. That's such a nice little touch. I mean, it's used to make sense of a bunch of like stuff that is clearly just there for cinematic reasons, but you need to make sense of it in universe because characters react to it and stuff. So boom, there you go. It's in here.
Take some time off on the Citadel, Steve. As a favor to me.
If you put it that way, how can I say no?
You can't.
Yep, can't say no to an order. Anyway. No. We should upgrade some weapons. Feiston is a good rifle, but I still like the Matic better, honestly. I should upgrade the living hell out of the Saber. It is such a good gun. I love that gun so much. What the heck is that submachine gun I use? No. Sorry about this. Is it fully upgraded? No. It's at the Locust. Okay. Okay, so it's the Locust. Alright, let me see if I can find it. Locust. Unless you just can't, and you have to find it. And then buy the upgrades elsewhere? I don't know. Or get the upgrades elsewhere? No, it's not on the list. That's weird. Or am I being an idiot? I might be an idiot, but it's always possible. Always a possibility. I am nothing if not... It wasn't even phrased right. I'm not observant. Let me put it that way, as Erica can definitely attest.
Parts of the chunker reminded me of the desert back home. The lizards and worms are bigger, but you know, the sand and everything.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah, that's right. He's from Southwest, New Mexico, Nevada, something like that. All right. Let's see about Javik. Let's see about our onboard reporter.
Commander.
You settling in, Javik?
I believe some of the crew wishes to be my friend. That is not my purpose here. Also, I find I need to wash my hands. The residue of the ship is strong.
How so?
I have been exploring. There are traces of those who lived on the Normandy before. I detected a human female. Her genetic structure was unnatural, as if artificially created.
Sounds like Miranda.
And a drill. There was illness in him.
Thane.
And a Krogan who lived in these quarters. He was undergoing a metamorphosis. His memories were confused, not organic to his mind. There was great confusion and turmoil.
I still can't wrap my head around that. Reading information like you do.
For my people, it was as natural as breathing.
Evolution's an amazing force.
Our scientists believed it was the only force in the galaxy that mattered. They called it the cosmic imperative. The strong flourished, the weak perished. The governments of your cycle seem concerned with ensuring the survival of all.
It's the duty of the strong to protect the weak. Otherwise we'd have anarchy.
But those who had nothing to offer would be eliminated.
So conflict should be a way of life.
Evolution demands it. The strong grow stronger by dominating the weak. It is for the greater good of all. Though I do not think your Asari approves of my beliefs.
Liara? I think she just had a different idea about what Protheans were like.
We are all a product of our time. Had I been born in this cycle, perhaps I would be the noble scholar she wishes me to be.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's not even quite correct from a evolutionary standpoint. Right, so we have, conflict is costly. I'll put it that way. Cooperation tends to be evolutionarily and, societally and everything more productive, right, for everybody involved, which is how you have conflict avoidant people and societies being relatively successful, because they do tend to be, even in the Mass Effect context. Think about the Volus. The Volus are a client state. They're not even autonomous. They're basically would be the term. They're vassals of the Turian hierarchy, and yet they are incredibly well respected by everybody, because they're commercial. They control the commerce of the galaxy. They run the credits. They run basically everything. Banks. they're the capitalists. They're the hyper-capitalists of the galaxy. And Javik doesn't quite appreciate that. He comes from a very warlike, conquest-driven culture, which is largely it has some severe problems because, again, when you're fighting each other, you're wasting resources. Right? Conquering somebody else means that you are losing something yourself, unless you win outright, which is almost impossible, especially in the long term. If you are going to be conquering someone else and exercising kind of command control over somebody, you have to expend resources to do so that could be used cooperatively, in conjunction with the resources of the person you would otherwise seek to conquer. So again, cooperation here, voluntary cooperation in particular, is necessarily more efficient, effective, and productive than conflict. So, and again, this is an obvious consequence, an obvious outpouring, an obvious point that follows from ordinary natural law reasoning about the social nature of humans. Again, humans, very broadly speaking, talking about rational animals, right? Humans being defined as rational social creatures, rational social animals in particular, right? The importance and the primary, the sort of social primacy, I guess I should say, of cooperation over conflict follows really straightforwardly from that, right? The conflict is a breaking down of social relationships rather than the natural way of social relationships. So that's what that is. That is, I think, a really crucial point to consider, and I think it's a major flaw in Prothean civilization, and it's part of why they were so quickly and efficiently wiped out by the Reapers, despite their successes that we were talking about before with the Islet Project and all that.
You think you'd like that? It's a whole different line of work.
I wouldn't know. Living a life of constant war, taking life in every battle.
I see how it could be tough to see outside the box.
It is the only box I have known. It shapes me, as stone is shaped by the one who carves it. This stone has no choice in the form it will take. You and I, Commander. War is our sculptor, and we are prisoners to its design.
Maybe not much longer. We win this and we'll both be set free.
They're also heavily deterministic, which is another thing I don't dig about, Prothean philosophy. I mean, yeah, we're influenced, of course, by our by the events that surround us and all that, but
this beats the hell out of reporting on the Milgram City Council.
But it's not as
Back in Stang. It's right next
probably
to
not as big of a problem as the
kid.
conflict stuff, but Kylie says, I may need to log off early. Had a long day. Gonna have to do a lot of house cleaning tomorrow. Have fun. Good luck. Good night, everybody, and love the live stream, and can't wait for the next one. Yep, hopefully I will, even if you're not in the chat on Thursday, you'll be with us in here. And so if you need to, feel free to come back and rewatch later on and see what's going on then. So see you around. Let me know about the blog thing you were talking about as well.
Commander, got a minute? What do you want to know?
She's not pleased.
You've just implemented a cure for the genophage. Millions of Krogan will start fighting the Reapers. What do you say to people who think humanity is starting another Rachni War and Krogan rebellions?
It's easy to remember the worst of Krogan history, but you also need to remember the best.
Meaning?
The Krogan were heroes once, and they want to be heroes again. We're giving them that chance.
Are you aware that Clan Urdnot is already petitioning the Council for an embassy and rights to a colony world?
The Krogan are coming to the aid of a Council homeworld. That's more than a lot of species can say.
Yeah, like the
I helped them
Solarians.
get the genophage cure. Anything more is between the Council and the Krogan.
There it is, straight from Commander Shepard. Until tomorrow, this is Diana Allers. Good night and stay strong. Okay, I'll cut that together
Diana,
with
look into the
rest of
camera,
segment and
Jesus.
Send it to command for approval.
That was so. Maybe it's animation glitches with her that also makes her just off-putting, but man, I don't know. That was a little bit.
Edie doesn't pilot the Normandy. She is the Normandy. No, she's a passenger in the Normandy, just like us.
The ship was a spacefaring vessel before EDI even existed.
Engineer Donnelly is correct. The Normandy SR-2 was completely spaceworthy prior to my installation.
See, EDI agrees with me.
EDI's mind and the Normandy are a whole entity now. You couldn't just move the processors in the AI core to another ship.
Engineer Adams is correct. Processes that contribute to my self-awareness are spread throughout the ship.
See? EDI agrees with me.
But unlike EDI, our brains couldn't have existed without our bodies.
That is a requisite from being organic. You have to look beyond that limited definition of life.
Joker pilots the Normandy. He doesn't take over EDI's body when he does that. When EDI controls the ship, she's piloting, just like Joker.
EDI doesn't pilot the Normandy. She is the Normandy.
No, she's a
Okay, so we're in a loop.
Normandy, just like
I'm gonna pause because I don't want them to talk over me. This is a super interesting question. I absolutely love it. This has a lot to do with things like embodiment. This has a lot to do with the hylomorphism, the relationship between mind and body. Here we go. Let me write something down to put in the description. There we go. This is, so you'll find this in there in the description after the stream is over. So yeah, this is definitely something that is, man, definitely worth considering. So the question is EDI the ship? Is she identifiable with the ship? Is the ship her body? Because again, this is what this means is so if I say that I am my body, that is not to say that I am just my body. Right? There may well be more to me than that. There may be a formal structure to me. There may be software equivalents. There may be an immaterial element to me, i.e. my mind or soul, whatever the case might be. Right? Okay, cool. Good so far. All right. So what this means is that I am the hylomorphic union, the matter and form union of my body and soul, or body and mind, as the case might be. I would not exist in the state that I do without my body. I would not exist in the state that I do without my mind. I am the union between the two of them. That is absolutely critical and essentially important. EDI, the question here arises, is EDI a hylomorphic union between body and mind? Or is EDI pure mind? Is she just her software? Right? If that is the case, then what that means is that she is this a disembodied spirit, if you will, that uses the Normandy, right? In the same way that Joker does. Joker pilots the Normandy, right? On this model, in the same way that EDI does. EDI is this separate being which then uses the Normandy like a tool rather than like a body. Right? I don't pilot my body. I am my body. When I say that I raise my hand, that's very different than when I say I turn my steering wheel. Right? I raise my hand is me doing something. I turn my steering wheel is me doing something to an object. These are very, very different things. I tend to think that here's where we get to the resolution for this, the answer, at least potentially. I tend to think that if EDI is alive, and by stipulation, the game world assumes that she's a living being, that she is the ship. Right? That the ship is her body, in a way analogous to this being my body. Right? So what this means, again, is that EDI is a hylomorphic union between the body, the ship, the Normandy, and soul, or mind, or call it what you want. Software and hardware, if you want. They have to work together. Now, the question still becomes, okay, well, could you move EDI to a different body? Maybe. In my tabletop, this was, of course, mostly for gameplay reasons. I answered yes to that, given sufficient time and hardware. But it would have to be moved to a relevantly similar body, to basically the same kind of body. So, in the tabletop version, it was another Normandy SR2 class frigate. What the hell is this thing? It's a frigate, yeah. In which case, it has all of the requisite components needed to house her soul. Right? In other words, for her soul, so to speak, to embody. We can't do that because we can't transfer consciousness, right? If we could, maybe we could do so. Again, sketchy, maybe not. But for EDI, the body is just as essential a component as our bodies are for us. Again, this is probably my position on this. Again, this is all on the stipulation that not only is hylomorphic dualism correct, which I do take it to be, but also the assumption that strong AI, true artificial intelligence, is in fact possible, and I'm a little more hesitant on that note. I tend to be a bit skeptical about the possibility of artificial intelligence. Okay, so what I'm going to do really quickly, hold on just a second, is I'm going to turn off my camera for a moment. Goodbye.
He agrees with me.
I'm going to allow this conversation to happen for a short moment, because I'm going to take 2 minutes, use the restroom, and I will be right back. I apologize for the delay.
To my self-awareness are spread throughout the ship.
See? Edie agrees with me. But unlike Edie, our brains couldn't have existed without our bodies.
That is a requisite from being organic. You have to look beyond that limited definition of life.
Joker pilots the Normandy. He doesn't take over Edie's body when he does that. When Edie controls the ship, she's piloting, just like Joker.
Edie doesn't pilot the Normandy, she is the Normandy.
No, she's a passenger in the Normandy, just like us. The ship was a spacefaring vessel before Edie even existed.
Engineer Donnelly is correct. The Normandy SR2 was completely spaceworthy prior to my installation.
See, Edie agrees with me.
Edie's mind and the Normandy are a whole entity now. You couldn't just move the processors in the AI core to another ship.
Engineer Adams is correct. Processes that contribute to my self-awareness are spread throughout the ship.
See? Edie agrees with me.
But unlike Edie, our brains couldn't have existed without our bodies.
That is a requisite from being organic. You have to look beyond that limited definition of life.
Joker pilots the Normandy. He doesn't take over Edie's body when he does that. When Edie controls the ship, she's piloting, just like Joker.
Edie doesn't pilot the Normandy, she is the Normandy.
No, she's a passenger in the Normandy, just like us. The ship was a spacefaring vessel before Edie even existed.
Engineer Donnelly is correct. The Normandy SR2 was completely spaceworthy prior to my installation.
See, Edie agrees with me.
Edie's mind and the Normandy are a whole...
And we're back. Let me move this back. Hello, everyone. I'm back. I've taken off the hat. I apologize. I know my hair's a mess, but whatever. It's fine. It's fine. All right, so let's... actually, wait. Hold on. There we go. Fixed.
Edie, our brains couldn't have existed without our bodies.
Okay, so let's... I agree with Adams.
Edie can direct the Normandy with her thoughts. She sees, hears, and feels through the ship's sensor arrays. The Normandy is her body.
I've seen Edie's body, and its curves are a fine sight better than the Normandy's hull.
So what do you think, Edie?
Are we more than our thoughts?
I'm done. Any more of this and my head's gonna explode.
Okay, well, that's a typical response from Donnelly. Thank you for that. It's great. All right, let's see. Anything in here we gotta buy? We have tons and tons of credits now, so... I like these, but they're very cosmetic. Yeah, let's increase our speed and acceleration, and let's increase our mech. Let's get a mech bay. And this makes it a little bit harder for the Reapers if they do catch us to kill us. So you know what? Let's do it. 15,000? Yeah, we can afford it. Yeah. We'll come back for the Javelin missile battery. That's pretty pricey. All right. Let's go down here. Yeah, anyway, this is a complex philosophical question. And headaches are usually how these end for untrained people. But really, I mean, the idea of artificial intelligence is one of the... Oh, hi, Edie. What are you doing here? One of the major themes in Mass Effect series. Artificial intelligence, how it relates to organic beings, and all of that stuff. Which we'll probably get to some of that in a couple of weeks when we go and see what the Geth and the Quarians are up to.
What are you up to now?
I'm uploading data on the destroyed Reaper to the Turians. They are investigating possible Reaper structural weakness. Our data says Reaper capital ships such as Sovereign are of unique design. However, smaller Reaper destroyers bear similarities.
That one was small?
Relatively, yes. Ground attack ships are only 160 meters in height. Sovereign was approximately 2 kilometers.
Well, keep talking to the Turians. If there's a chink in the Reaper's armor, we all need to know it.
Yeah, so, again, by comparison to other sci-fi, a Reaper Dreadnought, so Sovereign-class Reaper Dreadnought, is approximately the size of an Imperial 1-class Star Destroyer. Wait. How do I check what the avatars are? Can I look that up in my coding? I'll figure this out off stream, because this is a mess. This is quite a thing to go through. It's complicated.
Hello, Commander.
Hi, Doctor. Welcome back to the medbay. Oh, hey, Doctor. What's going on in here? Yeah, okay. Nobody in the lounge. Oh, wait. Where's Morden? Where is Morden? Ah, right over there. Morden Solis. Memory Eternal. Training videos, don't need that. Oh, maintenance check. Where does this go? Don't actually remember where the maintenance shaft goes. I'll find out eventually. Not in here. Oh, Eli. Cool. Surprised he's there and not over here with the mess hall. Oh well, whatever.
Any sign of life?
The Reaper destroyed by the Thresher Maw appears to be completely inert, Doctor. We would need to send in teams to be sure.
Out of the question. Tell the Krogan to stay away.
Very good idea. Indoctrination is a serious concern, even with protections, and even if you're aware of it, and even if the Reaper is dead, as we know from the last game. Its AMP is a sophisticated biofeedback system that interfaces with a set of armored microcomputers, and it can be set to streamline the use of biotic skills and combat powers. Ooh, or increase their damage. Ooh. Hold on, what do I have so far? Recharge 1%. Alright, let's go with cooldown. I love spamming my powers. So, yeah. Relay traffic reports. Increase through the Widow relay. That is the, I believe, that is the relay into the Citadel. The main relay into the Citadel. Omega 2 increase to Saleh. That's the Asari homeworld. Sane Hand. I don't know that. Pelion, I don't know. Charon is Earth. Shangxi Theta is, I think, the Outer Rim. I think that's where the, that's towards Quarian space. Okay.
Working on anything?
I'm helping decode some of the Crucible's designs, or trying to. Theoretical particle physics based on specialized base 12 mathematics aren't exactly my specialty. And Javik is his usual forthcoming self. I'd trade my last 100 years to resurrect even one Prothean scientist to help us.
Darn. Alright, let's see what Garrus is up to over in the main battery. he's here. Is he? Where is he? He's not here. Where is he? It's weird. I haven't seen him yet. Oh, he might be in the war room, now that I think about it. Alright, let's see where that maintenance thing goes. Okay, yeah, it goes right here. That's unsecure. Garrison here somewhere? No. Where is he? Weird. I feel like someone should be concerned that I'm going through the scanner this direction twice in a row. That should be concerning. Is he up with Joker? This is it. This is the last place on the ship where he could be. Yeah, there he is.
Alright, my turn. What's the first order an Alliance commander gives at the start of combat?
I give up.
Correct.
Alright, big guy. What do you call it when a Turian gets killed by a horrible spiky monster?
Friendly fire. Come on, that one goes back to Shang-Chi.
You gotta respect the classics.
How many humans does it take to activate a dormant mass relay?
602. 600 to vote on it, 1 to ask the Asari for technical help, and 1 to request a seat on the council afterward. How do you know when a Turian's out of ammo?
He switches to the stick up his ass as a backup weapon. Why does the Alliance hire pilots with brittle bone disease?
You're shitting me! The Turian military has one about me?
Oh, absolutely. I heard it myself from a private back on Palaven.
Alright, why
This is
does the
untrue.
Alliance hire pilots
I'm
with
sure.
brittle bone disease?
So their Marines can beat someone in hand-to-hand drills.
Damn, you need to tell James that one.
Ah!
Hey, what's the hardest
Rude.
part about treating a Turian who took a rocket to one side of his face?
Figuring out which side took the rocket.
He and James have one of these conversations later. It's a good one.
Never thought I'd see the Krogan and the Turians team up. Even the Reapers have to be a little nervous about pissing them off.
I'd say more than a little.
I'm sorry about Morden.
He was a good man.
Yeah, he was always running those tests. One time he tagged me in the middle of the night to ask how many livers humans had. And this bump on my elbow? He said it was just a mild bone deformation, but I'm pretty sure he stuck a probe in there.
Glad it was just your elbow.
It's so
I always thought
Solarian,
he was
too.
Crazy. Useful, but crazy. Then he gives up his own life.
To save the Krogan. Doesn't do much to disprove the crazy theory, huh?
I guess not. But he was one of ours.
So now that we got the Krogan and the Turians, what now?
The Krogan help us turn the tide on Palaven. They can shoot at something useful for a change.
Dig till we hit daylight, huh? Works for me.
So how does it feel knowing Krogan will be singing songs about you until the end of time? I think it would be an honor.
There's enough misery in this universe. It's nice to see something go right for a change.
Can't say I've ever really witnessed history in the making like this. Well, except for Sovereign attacking the Citadel, and then there was the Collector base, but this one felt good. And let's hope Rex keeps running the show on Tuchanka. Maybe we should hire a food taster for him. Imagine the carnage if someone like that brother of his, Reeve, took over.
It could happen.
I know, it's a chance we have to take, but I have to say, if it wasn't my own world that needed the help, I might have taken that Solarian deal.
So, relevant to that, not the Solarian deal, relevant to somebody else taking over for the Krogan on Tuchanka. So, this is looking forward a little bit. I don't know if this is exactly, I'd call it a spoiler, but it is a plot point moving forward. So, the end game, at the end of this game, one of the endings, and the one that I consistently choose, leaves the mass relays inoperable. And what that means is that people are cut off from other parts of the galaxy. So you can't travel around the galaxy like we do now. Well, we do now in the game, I mean. And with this, in addition, at the end, Rex comes to help Earth. Comes to help fight on Earth. And then he can't get back to Tuchanka. Uh-oh. This seems to present a problem, right? This seems to present a problem for Tuchanka, for Krogan civilization. Eve, or Bakara, his mate, I guess you could say. She's there, presumably, I think, on Tuchanka, so she's probably in command, in control for now, but no one is quite sure how long it would take to reestablish contact. Now, this eventually became a plot point moving forward for our tabletop game, but we never actually got to this because I ran into a story writing block. Not exactly sure how to move this forward in a way that made the player characters still the sort of center of attention, still made them important to the story. But it was going to be about reestablishing contact throughout the galaxy. In particular, the next thing we were going to do was bring Rex and some of his warriors back to Tuchanka, which would have been this problem sort of playing itself out, which I think would have been pretty good if I had managed to write what was going on with it, make the player characters, like I said, make the player characters actually important to the story again. That was kind of the problem with this, the next thing I had planned going forward, and why we stopped playing that and shifted to something else. Anyway, definitely not that Salarian deal. Alatress she's a terrible person.
I could never bring myself to do that, no matter what I was offered.
I admire your restraint, Shepard. It's nice when we can save the galaxy without destroying another race along the way.
Let's try. We will see.
Let's hope our luck holds.
That was dark, but yeah. All right, let's go somewhere, shall we?
Commander, Chief Engineer Adams would like to speak with you down in engineering.
What? We just talked to him. Okay, I guess something else then, yeah? Okay.
Commander, remember the problem I mentioned? About a core overload possibly venting into the engineering compartment? Daniels, Donnelly, Edie, and I have been brainstorming and comparing notes.
You see, the venting occurs when IES sinks are in a back cycle. At the same moment, the main core is at peak draw, such as from sustained kinetic.
What Kenneth means to say is that we're pretty sure we can make the system safer.
We just need a GX-12 thermal pipe. Unfortunately, we're cut off from Alliance supply chains. Could you keep an eye out for one the next time you're on the Citadel, Commander? I've got the specs right here.
All right.
I'll look for one the next time we go to the Citadel.
Thanks, Commander.
No problem. All right, we'll do that next time we go back. Right, now, we definitely don't have time to do the. Well, actually, oops, wrong one. Let's see how long, because we have a couple of side quests that we definitely need to do because they're time sensitive. Let's do those first, and we'll see how much time we have left. We might have time to go back to the Citadel, talk to the Salarian Counselor, but that actually takes a little while. That one actually takes a little while, so we might not have time to do that. We'll see. Oh, jeez. Like 2 things left. All right, maybe. Might have time. I'm going to say if we have less than 30 minutes, we can't really.
Commander, Admiral Hackett believes this system may contain assets we could use for the Crucible.
Ooh. All right, then. What is this? Elitania. Okay. We have been here before. We've landed here, I think. 1 on the Mako. What was that? Ooh, Ferrometric Array. Alright, cool. Good. Useful, I guess. Theseus. Oh, this is Theorem, I think. Theorem? Or Pharos? Nope, I was totally wrong.
Signal confirmed.
Oh, yeah, Pharos. Okay, here's Pharos. This is where that exogeny thing was, where the Geth had invaded, where the Thorian was. Alright, Quana. Everything binding infrastructure. Okay, can I... There. Okay. Next planet over. Because Pharos was, if I remember correctly, Pharos was an ecumenopolis, a Prothean ecumenopolis, a city planet. Or damn near a city planet that was wiped out by the Reapers. So yeah, it makes sense that they would have mining operations and stuff in another planet, on another planet in the same system. That would make plenty of sense. Okay. Yeah, that is true. Erica says the worst part of dropping that campaign for me was that Ben's personal quest was never completed. Yeah, he did not get closure about his sister. That was going to be moving stuff happening towards Asari space.
I found something.
Whether Thessia or somewhere else nearby. And Corey. Okay. Yeah, and that was disappointing. Like I said, I would like to go back to that at some point. Either that or rerun it and then actually have it properly lead into something. I would then have plenty of time to plan that ahead. Alright, let's do this. Antaram. I don't know what this is. What's actually on this planet? I don't remember at all. I know it's Cerberus, so let's take Edie and let's take Kasumi. Why not? Sounds good. Maybe I should take James, but whatever. Still Blood Dragon. Okay. Okay. Sounds good to me. I'll wait on these. Oh my. All right. Okay. Let's do it.
Commander, Cerberus has taken one of our secret communication facilities. All campaigns in this theater depend on the information that dish array supplies.
What do we know?
We're getting intel from a tech who survived the attack. Grace Sato. She's hiding in a security bunker off-site.
A civilian?
Yes, patching her through.
Miss Sato, what's happening down there?
I'm staying hidden, but I'm the only one left. They're trying to hack into our systems to access Alliance operations protocols. I'm tracking their activity, but they're bound to find me sooner or later.
Hang in there. We'll be there soon.
Yes. Yes, Commander.
It's not ideal, but she's the only one with any traction on this. The information stored in that network is critical, Commander. If it gets into enemy hands, we'll lose a lot of good people.
I'll take care of it, Admiral.
See that you do. Hack it out.
So this is one of the sort of downsides of quantum entanglement communicators.
Miss Sato, we've landed. What are we looking at?
We're trying to seize control of the 3 critical access
Um,
points. I'm updating your nav point with the location of the terminal they're closest to.
so because yeah, no, that's fine.
We'll keep them from hacking in.
Anyway, because quantum entanglement communicators are one-to-one, they're point-to-point. that means that if you want to communicate between multiple different sort of access points, you need multiple different communicators, which are all coordinated to each other, like this. So you need one of these kinds of like rerouting facilities like this, if you're going to have any kind of meaningful communications network. Which means these are central points of failure. These are huge central points of failure, which is another big thing that I mean, Mass Effect in general kind of has a problem with creating systems that have huge central points of failure. I mean, think about the Citadel, right? The Citadel is the central failure point for galactic civilization as a whole, you know, which is why the Reapers attack it immediately. Because if they can take out the Citadel, then they have a complete hold over the entire galaxy.
Nothing's changed. Just upload the next set of coordinates.
Yes, Commander. Updating your nav point.
Okay. Okay. Darn it. Well, that was an embarrassing spread eagle freeze posture. Alright, oh jeez, where am I coming from? Okay. Oh, can't blow it up. That's a shame. Where am I going? Oh, over there. Okay, that's why they're still spawning, because I need to get way over there. Darn it. Alright, let's go. Let's do a quick sweep. Oh, hello. Credits. Nice. Glad I did the sweep. Okay. Did I get it? No, I didn't. Start over. All right.
Miss Sato, come in. Miss Sato, are you there?
Ms. Sato must believe breaking radio silence would mean her death.
We need the final coordinates.
It's quite the assumption.
Grace, listen to me.
Can't talk. They're right outside.
I know you're scared. This is more than you signed up for, but I won't let you down, I promise.
Okay, Commander. Updating your nav point with the last location now. But if you get to me in time... Just hurry, please.
Commander, I think I can make a run and get her.
Do it.
All right. It's back up there, okay. All right. That was the first Phantom we encountered. Cool. Darn. Darn it. Okay. Let's keep moving.
Good job, Lieutenant.
Oh, we did it. Okay. Fantastic. All right, it's 11:30.
Our communication station is secure. Operations in this theater are safe again. No small task to keep it that way. How's Misato doing?
She asked to be transferred to a nearby Alliance station. She wants to help however she can.
Good. We need all the help we can get. Hack it out.
Okay. I think we might have to call this a little early. The next mission is a major one, and it takes a good long time.
I bet your buddy, the one who joined Cerberus, you heard from him?
No, I cut ties. Reported him for whatever good that did. No way I want that crap on my record.
Defectors. That sucks. Yeah, I think we might cut it a little bit early.
Commander, you've got to...
Oh, okay. Let's do all that stuff, housekeeping type things, and wrap it up. Because again, like I said, the next mission is a very, very long and complicated one that will take quite a bit of time. So I don't want to I don't want to start it and not finish it. Because it's a major thing. So then we will probably pick that one up next week. From Bakara. Okay. Eve, that is. Commander, I'm writing you from the Kelphic Valley into Jaka. I wish you were here to see this. I'm watching Krogan pour in from across our entire planet. So many of them that I've lost count. They have all heard the news. We are finally free. The age of suffering is over. Never again will Krogan be afraid to give birth. Never again will they fear the pain and heartache it might bring. Jesus, that's rough. While I don't know what fate ultimately has in store for my people, I can promise you your decision to believe in us will not be in vain. We will fight the Reapers for more than glory. We will fight them because we know there is a future for us after victory. The rest of my life will be devoted to traveling to Chanka and speaking aloud the words no Krogan has heard for nearly 2,000 years. There's reason to hope. This I owe you, Commander. This I will never forget. Oh yeah, it was, wasn't it? It was like 400 AD or something. They unleashed the genophage. 2,000. I think. I might be getting that date wrong, but it's insane. And this really brings a point to it, and it's the role of a mother, right, that has to point to this. That it's not just sterility. It is infertility. It is millions, maybe billions, of stillbirths every year over the course of almost 2,000 years. Think about how many trillions of dead Krogan, dead infant Krogan, this would have meant. That's horrifying. Yeah, that is... There's absolutely no way that There's no way that curing the genophage is in any way the wrong choice. It has to be the right choice. I don't need to do that. I need to do that. Yeah, who else do we have? No, just Kasumi. Okay. We don't have any mechs for the mech bay. You have a mech bay, though. That's pretty cool. Anyway. Yeah, that's... there's absolutely no way that's... There's no way that we made the wrong choice thinking about it that way. I mean, consequences be damned, right? The genophage was such a horrifying act of systematic evil that undoing it is the only moral choice. Again, like I said, consequences be damned. There might be terrible consequences. The Krogan may wind up, going to war forever, more or less. But even still, it doesn't matter, ultimately. Alright, Prothean side, let's do this real quick. You can only do this between missions, so.
Signal confirmed.
On Farnuri. Like I said, I'll try and figure this out off stream. The Prothean avatars and such. I thought the Avatar of Vengeance was already Javik. We can't also be the Avatar of Vengeance, can we? Shepard can't, I mean. That seems off. Colonial support. Alright. Alright, there's nothing else in this system, or in this cluster, so let's just head back to the relay. Get out of here. Ooh. We have other things that we need to search for. Yeah, let's do some planet scanning and system scanning first.
Commander, this system saw a lot of action. There may be survivors.
Oh, geez. Yeah, let's go somewhere first where we can buy fuel. Really quick. Like... Anar system? Anar home system? I think they have a fuel depot. Yeah, they do. There's Kaje.
I found something.
Get some fuel. And... Nalander. It's Moon. With its massive automated defense system. There we go. Cool. Kanala, the Hanar Illuminated Protectorate, was another place that we went to in our tabletop game a a few times for a few different reasons, which was pretty cool, I thought. Again, there was a lot that I needed to build for the sort of Hanar. Actually, let's not do this. We'll do this eventually. There was a lot I had to build to sort of make the Hanar, world build them the rest of the way up. What did we miss in Asgard? Oh my. Okay then. Jesus. I bore. But I think I filled in a good bit of it. Most of it was figuring out, okay, what would their territory look like? And because the Hanar are so secretive with their automated defenses and with their Drell underlings, I guess, call them. I don't want to say slaves because Drell would be offended by that. Nice fuel. There we go. But I kind of had to fill in, okay, what would their territory look like? How much territory would they have? How much would they permit people to explore? How much would they be upfront about? Or would they be just purely secretive? All of that. Got everything. Let's check Elysium.
Commander, casualties were heavy in this system. There may be survivors.
Yeah. Ooh, cool. Got an armored personnel carrier. That's nice. That's Cruiser Shanghai. Nice. Also nice. So basically, I took a lot of inspiration from Manon from Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, for the kind of surface city for foreigners, and then also underneath that being underwater cities, inhabited by in this case Hanar, which I think I did pretty well on that. I think I made it a pretty good, well-built world, and a bit of a horror-themed episode or adventure, being trapped underwater, looking for something creepy and disturbing and all that stuff. An underwater city and all that. Underwater facility, not even a city. Yeah, I thought like I said, I thought that was a lot of fun and a little creepy and disturbing. Got to do a lot of this, so I might as well wrap up with some talking about it. Let's. How much fuel do we have? Do we have enough? No. Darn it! I need to do the same thing that we already left this system to go and do. Darn it! It's ridiculous. I know there's one right there. I know there is. I heard it. There's got to be refilling station here, right? No. Fine, all the way back here. What? There it is. I knew there was one in this system. There had to be. Alright. Okay. Great. Let's head back. Uh-oh. I really hope I didn't alert the Reapers. Okay. Wow, there's a lot in this cluster. So let's do all these while we're here, while we're wandering about.
Signal confirmed.
There we go. Uh-oh. Ooh. A Grizzly. Nice tank. Alright. Special Ops Team Zeta. Nonwell. let's get out of here.
I found something.
Oof. It's a lot of Reapers. Alright. Got fuel, that's good. This this is where the Reaper was found, I think. Where that derelict Reaper was found, if I remember right. Found by the Batarians and brought back, and it wound up indoctrinating a bunch of them. Which was terrible, you know. Okay. That, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think that contributed largely to the Batarian hegemony falling so quickly to the Reapers. So quickly and so thoroughly to the Reapers. Serious? Oh, no. Crap. Really? Tiny little rocky asteroid? Fine. Credits.
Evasion successful.
Okay. Okay. Here's the exciting part. Evading Reapers while still trying to collect everything. Alright, Alliance Frigate Agincourt. Ooh, that one's coming in fast. Alright. Related note. That was another... I've mentioned this before. It's another thing that I really love about the world building of Mass Effect is the just sort of established subtle little rules set up in the world, like Systems Alliance naming conventions for ships. Frigates, like the SSV Normandy and Agincourt, and our sort of hero ship for our party, the Roncevaux, are named after historical Earth battles. Battles on Earth that were of major historical importance. The Battle of Roncevaux being a major battle that wound up helping to unify Europe under Charlemagne. Compared to, and Normandy, obviously the Battle of Normandy, the invasion at Normandy in World War II. Agincourt being the, oh no, this is going to kill me. One of the, in the 100 Years' War, I think. 100 Years' War? I think. Being one of, if not the major battle of that conflict. But if you look at any frigate, there is a whole class of frigates called the Alamo class, which is what the Roncevaux was in our tabletop. Obviously, the Battle of the Alamo was a huge deal in human history, in Earth history. Whereas, cruisers are named after mountains.
I found something.
And so, like the Everest class, the Everest cruiser, the Kilimanjaro. What was the other one? There's another major cruiser class named after a mountain. Forget what it is. I think there's at least one more. And then, of course, you have dreadnoughts,
Faster than light jump
which are named after cities, I think. I believe it's cities. Because I think you have the Cairo. Am I getting that right? Or am I switching cruisers and... I might be switching cruisers and dreadnoughts. Oh, there it is. Okay, quick. But all of them are very, very consistent, which I think is very cool. It's a really neat little bit of world building. Then, what's the other one? There's another one that is a that has a naming convention like that. I'm trying to remember what it was. Corvettes, I think, are named after mythological creatures. there we go. So there's the Blue Dragon and a couple of others. There we go. Cool. I think that's it for this cluster. Yep. All right. Let's see if there are any others worth searching while we're here. We got a little while longer to search. There's nothing in the relay system. I think I'm safe in assuming there won't be anything elsewhere either, so I can move on. I love how the systems, all of the systems in this cluster are named after human space explorers. Gagarin, Grisham, which is in universe the first guy to go through the mass relay, the first human to go through a mass relay. Vamshi, I don't remember. Tereshkova was one of the first Russian cosmonauts. Hong, one of the I forget exactly who Hong was. But again, it's another one of those really cool little. Oh, there we go. Oh, Pragia, neat. It's another one of those neat little little touches in their in the established world building. I love it. Like I was saying earlier when we were talking about Star Wars, this is Mass Effect is one of my favorite sci-fi franchises because of the attention to detail in the world building like this. It tries so hard to be well built, detailed, and consistent. Tries to be consistent. There are some plot holes and retcons and things like that. Like Samara talks about having 3 daughters and there being only three Ardat Yakshi in existence. Meanwhile, oh, Vermeer. Oh no, it's Ashley.
What the hell are you doing, Williams? Making sure
Flashback.
this bomb goes off, no matter what. Can you hold them off? It's done, Commander. Go get the lieutenant and get the hell out of here.
All right, everybody, hang on.
Flashback, man. This is also exactly the kind of flashbacks that Shepard would in fact have. Man. That's not right. Anyway.
Signal confirmed.
Let's see. Anyway, but yeah, that's another one of those that it's another just another instance of people dying. I would say for Shepard, but again, for Shepard's cause in her place, you know. Oh, there's more stuff here. Okay. Let's do a quick loop. Yeah, like I was saying, I think one of the things I like most about Mass Effect is, and it's the same as one of the things I in the past especially have really liked about Star Wars is the rich detail of the world building. Like it felt like wherever you look in the galaxy, whether that is the Star Wars galaxy or in this case the Milky Way, you'll find something. Like look at this. This is a lengthy description, 2 full paragraphs of a description of a moon of a planet in a backwater system in the middle, in just off in that part of the galaxy over there. There are descriptions like this for every planet. Every planet you can go to. For example, Surtur. Named after the Norse god of fire or something. Neat, right? I don't know. I really dig this. I think it's really cool. Just the detail, the level of fine-grained detail.
Liara flagged this system as one with potential intel assets.
All right then. See what they got. It honestly, the other thing about this kind of well-built world, if you want, is that you can. It makes it very easy to write stories in a pre-established world like this, or like Star Wars, or like a lot of RPG and role-playing game settings, like tabletop settings, like D&D's Forgotten Realms. There's so much detail in the world that you can just sort of write anything. Because you know what's where. You can look up what's where.
Signal confirmed.
It's already pre-written out, you know? Let's check the other systems first, because that's probably fuel. Like, I'm running a... I guess I should say. I was running a game in a D&D game in Forgotten Realms, which is the sort of standard setting for 5th edition, the current edition of Dungeons & Dragons. And it's phenomenally easy to write things, because I know what's where. If I know my party is wandering through a particular town or area or mountain range or swamp or something, I can just say, okay, what's here? Oh, there's there are orcs that inhabit this area of the land, this city, let's say. Okay, that means that they're going to be encountering orcs when they're going through this swamp. What other kinds of creatures? Oh, there's a dragon over here, so that means that there's not going to be other kinds of large wildlife, or, you know, things like that, right? And with that establishment, it also means that you can just, if a player character should know something about something, you can just say, yeah, you know this. You know about this place. And you can just say, here it is on the codex entry if it's Mass Effect. You know this about this planet or whatever. And it also gives your players, if you're writing an RPG, it gives players options, right? So I was running the Mass Effect tabletop. I can just say, all right, where are you from? Where's your character from? What's their background? You can have a bunch of this information about player characters, or NPCs even, that you can just sort of plug and play. I can just say that, if Erica's character, Ben, for example, is from Elysium, what that means is he has definitely heard of Shepard. Because Shepard was not from Elysium, but there's a giant statue of Shepard in the capital of Elysium, which is named. I forget what it is. There's a name for it, though, already.
Confirmed.
So, and that is a giant statue because Shepard helped to repel the pirate invasion, a bunch of Batarian pirates and all that stuff. Okay. Stuff that we've talked about before, and stuff that it's in one of the major backgrounds of, Shepard's backgrounds and stuff like that. So that's just, yeah, you've heard of Shepard, and Shepard is a big deal, and on Elysium, and all this stuff. And you can extrapolate a bunch of this from any of these planets, any of these little descriptions. And you can just build on what's already there, and it gives you a jumping off point for writing, which is really, really helpful. For somebody like me, I'm not a particularly creative type when it comes to story writing. So the kind of world building that you see in a setting like this really, really is helpful for me, for somebody like me. Like I said, I'm not super creative when it comes to especially narrative, but all of this stuff going on, it gives me ideas of what to do and where to go, where to take the story. All right, we're running low on time, so what we'll do is we will finish this cluster.
Signal confirmed.
There we go. And we will wrap it up for tonight, and then next time we'll start off going back to the Citadel. Nice. Alright, that's everything. Alright, so we'll wrap this up. And refuel. Actually, quickly, one more thing. Let's go to that dealer. Buy some cool stuff. Or trade stuff in for cool stuff, I guess. Before we wrap up. Yes. Okay. Revenant? No. Chakra launch. Nice, but no. No. Javelin is very nice. No. Let's get an Atlas, because we need something in that mech station downstairs in the ship. Server ship schematics. Yeah. Actually, you know what? We just fought a Thresher Maw, so let's do that. Can we do more than one? Oh, we can. We can accept all of them. Very cool. I didn't know that. Alright, so that'll work. Alright, that'll do it for tonight. Let's real quick. Let's see if we can go... Okay, it has the Cat 6 Atlas. Let's go down and look at our new med bay, and we'll end it there. How about that? Successfully have blown a nice solid half hour. Getting... We have a tank. I'm glad we have a tank. That's good. We have our mech bay up here. And it goes forward. Z4 rangefinder. Armor piece, I guess. Check out our cool mech. Neat. Can I get in? I can't get in. Walk around. I wanted to. Anyway, that's all we got. So, that's our cool new toy that we just got. So, that's all. Like I said, that is all the time we have. We are about at midnight. So, if you enjoyed this stream, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining me. And I will see you next time. Like I said, we are going to be streaming the usual time, 9 p.m. all the way through till midnight on New Year's Eve. That is Thursday, and we're going to be playing Dragon Age Origins. We're going to be actually getting through the rest of the Battle of Ostagar. I did manage to get the thing working again, at least, you know, hopefully, fingers crossed. So we are going to be going through that. That'll be New Year's Eve. That'll be Thursday. And then back here Monday for more Mass Effect 3. We're going to be continuing through. We're going to be going to the Citadel, doing the stuff there, and probably doing the Leviathan DLC, time permitting. Which time should permit, honestly. So, with that, that's all I have for tonight. Once again, thank you for joining me, and a very Merry Christmas to all of you. And I will see all of you next time. Bye.